Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It is currently 2:35 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon, and this is the Monday vlog. I'm vlogging today because I decided just to go to bed last night. It was snowing so hard. We got like 11 inches of snow in Indianapolis. There was no way that I could have gone out and driven around in it last night. I went up to the gas station to get something to eat. I went up to go get something to eat because we were going to watch RuPaul's Drag Race. Well, we did watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and everything was closed. I was trying to get Burger King, and Burger King was closed. And so I ended up just going to the gas station and getting 2 candy bars, which I didn't even end up eating. And I came back and I made macaroni and cheese. And listen how healthy my meal is. I wanted comfort food because of the snow and stuff, you know. So I had a box of macaroni and cheese left. So I made that and a peanut butter and honey sandwich, toasted. And then Alex had bought this like tub of like pre-made chocolate chip cookie mix, which he just eats out of the container with a spoon because he loves chocolate chip cookie dough. But I made 6 cookies. 6 cookies or 8? 6 cookies I made. So we watched RuPaul's Drag Race, and then afterwards I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed early tonight. I mean, it wasn't really super early, but early for me. It was like 12:30 when I went to bed. And I was gonna get up this morning when Alex went to work, and I was gonna go vlog then, but I reset my alarm, and then I kept on resetting my alarm and snoozing my alarm, and so finally I got up, and I got a really good night's sleep. I slept like 12 hours, which is unbelievable, and now I am out vlogging. The roads are kind of clearing up. Well, the main roads like I'm on right now are pretty clear. Our neighborhood that we pay huge sums for HOAs are still not clean. And it's kind of sad because like all of these older people are out there shoveling their driveway when they shouldn't have to do that. And but there's a lot of people walking around the neighborhood too. Boo and Tucker were so funny because they ran out, and we don't even have a shovel, so I just backed out and threw my car into 4-wheel drive and left. But I actually, when Alex left this morning, I moved my car into the garage so that it would melt the snow and the ice off my car. And I came out there 5 hours later or whatever, and my car was still completely iced over. So that didn't help it at all. So anyway, what was I gonna say? I don't know, I've totally forgotten what I was gonna say. So yeah, we watched RuPaul's Drag Race last night. I don't understand this season. Like, we're sitting there watching it, and I just do not see what RuPaul and the judges see. Like, they just sing Candy Muse's praises, and I just do not see what they see in Candy Muse. But that's just me. And I don't know. They did this whole thing where they did like Ross Matthews acted like he had like this talk show, and then he like they had to do these little skits, and I didn't think like anybody was that great on any. I mean, I didn't like, there was nobody that was like, usually there's like one standout performance, and they kept on like talking about this Olivia and how great she was as this mime and stuff like that. I thought she was okay. I didn't think she was like the greatest ever on the show, and they went on and on and on about her outfit. And I don't know. I don't see what the judges are seeing this season, and I don't know if they've like picked favorites, or like, I don't usually ever feel like that, even though they talk about that. Like afterwards they'll say like, you know, oh, there's like favorites on the show, and you know, the judges have their favorites, and they're really hard on some people and not as hard on others. And I usually don't see that. This season, I don't know if it's that they're picking favorites or that they're seeing something that we're not seeing, like that, I guess just Alex and I, maybe, I don't know, that we're not seeing on, like it in person, it's presenting differently than it does on screen or something. I don't know. I don't get it. Now, Simone, I'm absolutely obsessed with. I love Simone. I think she's fantastic, and I hope she wins the whole show. But anyway, so we watched RuPaul's Drag Race last night, and it just snowed and snowed and snowed. And of course, you know I love the snow, and we got tons of it. I mean, it's piled up everywhere. And, but yeah, so it wasn't really safe to drive around last night. I just thought I would stay in and go to bed early and get a good night's sleep. I was actually going to lay in bed and watch the 3rd and 4th episode of Hell in the Heartland, the Jackson Miller book that we're reading for this month, but I really want to finish the book before I watch the rest of the documentary. This guy's wanting to get by. Just let him get by. This is my coffee from yesterday, and the last my Starbucks that I usually go through, I was getting ready to turn in, and they had only like plowed an area for one car, and this gal, she was like taking up the whole, there was no way to turn into it. So I was like, okay, well, and then I would have had to go all the way back around, like 5-mile radius to go back to that Starbucks. So I was just like, well, I'll start vlogging and go this way. I was just talking to Tanya on the phone. We're gonna go to our meeting tonight, and I'm excited about that. We're gonna go to our meeting, and we're gonna pick up our friend on the way, which will be fun. I'm not gonna vlog for a long time tonight or today because I want to get it up and get it started rendering so it'll get up. So this is actually, I always say that I'm gonna do a short vlog, and then I never do. It ends up being like an hour. This one is probably gonna be between 30 and 40 minutes. I also have some cameos that are due in like an hour, less than. So I want to make sure that I get those done. So yeah. So maybe tonight I can drive around depending on how the roads are. I'm hoping, like, it's just crazy to me. I'm like looking, and it's like still a lot of these major roads are not plowed. Like this goes back into the mall. Like this, here you can see, this is like our roads here now. You can see that they're plowed. But then like the side roads are not plowed. Here's a car that's stuck. There's a lot of cars that are stuck. There was something that I wanted to talk about in here today, and now I don't remember what it is. This pet store that's kind of like up the street from us. It's literally like probably 5 minutes from our house. I didn't know anything about it, and somebody sent me an article from People magazine that this pet store caught on fire. It's horrible. It's so horrible. This pet store caught on fire I guess it was last night, and there were 40 animals and 40 dogs or something inside of it. So I texted it to Melissa to see if she had heard about this. And she was like, yeah, she's like, I've been following it since last night. And she was like, they don't have anybody check on their animals or go in there after dark. I don't know anything. I didn't read the whole article though, so I don't know how the fire started. But it's literally right up the street. It's so sad. I'm dying for a Starbucks.
Hi, what are we having tonight?
Could I please get a venti iced blonde Americano?
Yeah.
With an extra shot, okay, and one Splenda.
Alright, one moment.
I cannot ever
One
find.
Splenda, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Alright, $4.74 on that.
I can never find these masks that I bought like a ton of. Here, I brought all of these out to my car because I can never find one. It was crazy. Tanya and I were talking about how we haven't had snow like this. Well, you guys know I love the snow. So I do if people are safe and it's pretty like this. Which I think by the time that most people got home last night, like, well, everything was closing early. You saw me yesterday. I tried to go to Bath and Body Works, and like they were closing early. Everything was closing by like 4 or 5, and so by the time that the snow like really started, everybody was pretty much home already, I think. When I went out at like 8 o'clock to get something to eat, I mean, literally nothing was open and there was nobody out on the streets. I was like the only one, and it was like really slow moving. And there had been like an accident up by us because they had like the whole street. Oh, no. A car went over like the median. He like was like 2 wheels on one side, 2 wheels on the other, because you couldn't see the median because the snow was as high as the median. And so they had a police officer like blocking the street. But when I circled back around, they had got him out of there, and he was, over. So I don't know how they got him out of there so quickly, but they did. But anyway, I think like every school, I looked this morning like at the school closings and the business closings in Indianapolis, and it was like every major school in Indianapolis, all the libraries, everything was closed. So, but Tanya and I were talking. Tanya's like, I don't think we've had snow like this. It was like so like wet and sticking. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but over here, I'll show you right here. Do you see there's like huge mounds of snow everywhere in the parking lots? Tanya's like, I don't think we've had snow like this since I was a kid. And I think we're supposed to have some snow here in like the next couple days too. Like, this isn't it. Like, we're supposed to have more snow. I don't know. We'll see. So bright outside. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Does it ever feel like your points just do not add up very quickly on Starbucks? Like, I had over 1,000 points for so long, and I feel like I've been like over 300 for just because I used all my all my points, and now I feel like I've been like over 300 forever. It feels like.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm good.
Staying warm out there?
Trying to. How about you?
I hear you there. Looks like we're pulling the shots on that now.
Okay.
A minute for you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't even know how I found it. I was like, I can't have my sunglasses on at the same time because they fog up. I just remembered I had a dream that Alex got me creamer and we were standing in the kitchen talking about it. Is that not the weirdest dream ever? I don't know why I had that dream. I just was watching her like pour this cream and this coffee, and I just remembered that like I think I bought cream, and then Alex was like, oh, I got you creamer too. That's the weirdest dream. I've been having the weirdest dreams lately. I haven't been having like, well, a couple nights ago I had a really, really bad nightmare. This house over here, I have to tell you. Okay, so there's this house across the street. Do you see it? When I was growing up, that house was like a children's clothing store, and it's now a Cirilla's. But anyway, on top, do you see how there's like all those birds sitting on top of the house? How sweet is that? There's like 10 or 15 birds. Thank you so much. There's like 10 or 15 birds just sitting on top. What do you think they're saying to each other? Do you think they talk to each other? Oh my Lord, did you see Gertrude? Oh, Gertrude, did you see her the other day? Oh my God. She thinks she's so fancy with that one red feather. I know. Well, you can't tell Gertrude anything these days. Have you seen who she's been hanging out with? Oh, she's been hanging out with that Judy Smith. That Judy Smith has a red feather too. She thinks she's so fancy. Well, you know what they say, birds of a feather. Why does that crack me up so much? That's so silly. Anyway, okay, I don't even know how I found these channels, you guys. I really don't. I don't know, like, my cousin Caroline and I always talk about how this scares us so much. I don't know why, but you know that thing where, like, if you say, like, I don't know, that you're looking for, like, Crate and Barrel or Williams-Sonoma or something like that, or Target, right? And then all of a sudden you'll get on Facebook and it'll show you, like, a Crate and Barrel, Williams-Sonoma, or a Target ad. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is, like, the weirdest thing ever, okay? I literally just took all of those cups out of my car, and now there I just threw another one in. Okay. But do you know what I'm talking about? Like, where, like, somehow it picks that up. Okay, so maybe that's what it is, because I've been talking a lot of my other channels about the ASMR community, and, but I actually found some ASMR channels. I can't believe they're considered ASMR, but, oh, I know how I found them. Okay, so the other night, I was like, does anybody go to Le Peep anymore? I used to love Le Peep. They had the best cinnamon toast in the world. But anyway, the other night, I was like doing some stuff on my computer, or like uploading videos or something, and ow, dang it, that hurt. Dang nation. Anyway, I was looking for, I was uploading something, and I was like wanting some sound in the background, because like sometimes I like play cartoons, like I love, like, on holidays, like in the background while I'm uploading videos, I'll put on like Fat Albert's Christmas or Fat Albert's Halloween, or, you know, like I try to find, like, they only show clips of them, but like Charlie Brown's Christmas, and It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, and I'll play it in the background while I'm like working and uploading stuff. So for some reason, I wanted to hear a car driving. I was like, I wonder if there's a video of like a car driving in a rainstorm. Is there ever? There's tons of them. And it's considered ASMR, which I think is so crazy. So anyway, like as I was looking for it, there are these channels. It's all one, actually, it's all one channel. And they always have like some kind of like old-timey picture or something, like this one picture, and they're very specific titles, okay? Like this one picture, the channel so reminds me of watching the movie Rear Window. This is what I love about big snowstorms like this, is that there's literally no sidewalks, so people are just like walking down the middle of the road. Can I just tell you, like, look at this. This cracks me up. People are just like walking down the middle of the road. But, okay, so I found this channel, and it's called, I don't know what the channel is called, but the one video is called, oh, they're all ambiance. So they're not called ASMR, they're called ambiance channels. And it's like, listening to oldies from the other room during a rainstorm in Paris. And the picture is like those two cats from the Aristocrats. And it's literally like, you hear a rainstorm, like it's like rainstorm, you know, like when you like, when you play like those sound machines and you put like rainstorm in the city, it's like rainstorm in the city mixed with like in the distance, like you can hear like oldies playing, and they're like 1930s or 40s songs. And then the other one that I found is called Oldies. It's the same channel. I mean, there's probably a ton of these oldies ones, but it's called like Oldies Playing While Oldies playing while, I don't know why this cracks me up so much. Oldies playing while driving in the car late at night. And the picture is literally like this kid sleeping in the car, and his mom is like looking over at him. And it's like a 1950s picture. Like, you know, Norman Rockwell or something. And she's like looking over at him, and the dad is driving the car, and there's like these oldies playing in the background, but you can hear the car moving at the same time in like this rainstorm. They are so soothing, you guys. Like, I have literally fallen down the rabbit hole of ASMR. Now, I cannot get with all the tapping and all of that kind of stuff. And I really greatly appreciate that you guys think that I have such a soothing voice that you consider me ASMR. All I hear is like, rah, 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 rah. But anyway, well, that coffee is good. That coffee. Sometimes you get a coffee that is just perfection, and this coffee is just perfection. Yeah, the weather was bad all across the country. I know that Texas just got hit really, really hard. I saw just really tragically sad stuff. I guess their like electricity was out. All over Texas. I saw that 2 people passed away in a car because they were trying to stay warm. That is so, just breaks my heart. I had a friend of mine, I always think of this when people ask me for money, like at gas stations. And I have a friend of mine, he's actually sober and doing really well, so positive story on that end. But he used to live in a car in Chicago, and it was parked like right off the lake, and so he lived in this car for a whole winter because he didn't have anywhere else to go. And he and this was like in the midst of his heroin addiction, and he had like, you know, stuff taped up over the windows and whatever, but he has shared like how unbelievably freezing cold it would get in this car. He didn't have enough money in the car, he couldn't get the car started, like couldn't get it fixed to move the car, and he had no place else to live, so he had to stay in this car. And he has kind of a cool story about how he got into treatment, though, so that's not my story to tell. But you know, you think about that, it's just like, it's so sad. And then I know, like, in Tennessee, I was looking at Justin Anderson. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's Kristen Cavallari's like best friend, and he does like hair. He owns like this DB Hue thing or whatever. I don't really know what he does, like hair color. He's done like he's done some YouTubers' hair. He's done like Trisha Paytas's hair, and he does a lot of like famous celebrities' hair, their color and stuff. And he's engaged to Aaron Rhodes, who is one of the Rhodes brothers on YouTube, that like they came out to their dad on the phone. They're twins. And so they moved to Nashville because Kristen Cavallari lives in Nashville. I think that's why they moved there. But anyway, they have a gorgeous house there. His Instagram story is so fun. Like, this is what I don't understand. Okay, all of a sudden it's horrible streets, and now look, the street is completely clear. And this is like totally a side street, but look at all that snow that we got. Oh my gosh. But anyway, if you're looking for like, I love to follow Instagram stories of people that just like are constantly posting stuff. I said I was going to do a better job of that in 2021, and I sure haven't, have I? But anyway, he is somebody that is like, he posts constantly over there, and he posts really fun stuff. I actually need to turn around and go back so I can get these cameos done, and then by the time I get back, I'll be almost done with my vlog. Oh, but the reason I was bringing him up was because he was showing in Nashville, Tennessee last night, I guess, or yesterday. The ice storms were so bad in Tennessee that like cars were literally just sliding sideways down the street, and he put it up on his Instagram story. It's like that black ice. You can't even see it on the road. We got it a couple years ago. I was actually on the way home. I think I vlogged the whole thing. I was on the way home, my way home from a meeting when I got stuck in a black ice storm. I've told this on here before. I think it was before I started my vlog. It was actually like the month before I started my vlog, because it was that November. before I started my vlog channel. And I had gone to a meeting, so I used to go to all candlelight meetings, and I went to like 6 candlelight meetings a week. This is just up till a couple years ago. And all the meetings started at like, between 9:30 and 10:30, 10:40, well, when did one meeting start? It went to 12:45, it was 10:30 to 11:45 was the latest one. But so I went to a candlelight meeting is a 12-step meeting that it's late at night and it's all lit by candles. So I would go to these candlelight meetings. I loved them so much, and they were just so spiritual, and I don't know, I just, I love nighttime anyway. So I cleaned off my windshield wipers from all the ice so that they could work, and there's still ice on them. Listen to that, they sound horrible. Ugh. So anyway, I had gone into my meeting at like 9:30, and it was just kind of misty now. Like, it wasn't even like, I think usually like black ice occurs like when it's not super cold, or I don't know, it's like some weird like temperature thing, because it wasn't like freezing cold out, but it was like cold enough that it could ice. And so anyway, we like came out of this meeting an hour later, and it all happened in an hour. Like, before I went in there, the roads were fine, they were dry, it was just kind of misting outside, like not even like a rainstorm or anything, And no wonder Tanya was like, the streets are fine. I'm like, yeah, over here in Fishers, they're perfectly fine. They're completely fine. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. I'm so glad I went this way, because now I remember what I wanted to tell you. So, I got out of the meeting, and like, we literally were like falling in the parking lot. It was like the ice was so bad. And I remember I was like, because that was like a half an hour from where I live, and I was like, how am I gonna get home? And I was like, okay, I can go through the city, which is like all side roads, or I can take the interstate. And I was like, well, surely it can't be that bad, the interstate, And I got on the interstate, and it was like this part where you like come around this ramp like this, and then you're on the interstate. And I came on the interstate, and I like went over this hill, and I kept like going up this kind of like hill. I couldn't really see anything, and I came down the other side, and it was literally all I could see. It was like miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of stopped traffic. It was unbelievable. So yeah, I was stuck out there till like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then when it started again, I mean, people were stuck on off ramps. People were like, then when it started again, the traffic up and people could go, all of these idiots just started like going like crazy, like, like 60 miles an hour, and then they would just like spin out of control and hit 2 or 3 cars. It was bad. So anyway, yeah, that was not fun. Anyway, last night or yesterday, if you watch my Peter Does Stuff channel, I did this video called Stopping by the Woods. And I went right over here into Ritchie Woods, and I walked around as it was snowing, and it was so pretty and it was so peaceful. But what I didn't show on there, because I started getting freaked out, was that right at the end, I'm standing on this bridge. And when I pulled up, there was a couple. It was like a couple with like their daughter, who was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 or 9. And then they had a dog, and they went into the woods. I think I said something about them on there at the beginning. And they went on the woods at the beginning, and then there was a pickup truck, and the pickup truck was completely covered with snow, and it was like parked back. And I actually thought like it was like the park ranger's truck or something, because I was like, it's just like, it wasn't parked like in the major like parking area. It was like parked way back, right? So I'm just like walking through the woods, and I'm thinking it's so pretty. I mean, I did think a couple times, because I usually do think this way, I did think like, oh my God, this is like serious like serial killer territory back here or whatever. And honestly, like, I have not really been back there that much, so I don't know. I'm gonna turn the heat on so it like melts my windshield wipers. I don't know how far back it goes. Apparently, it goes far back enough that somebody said that there's like a hidden little cemetery back there. I didn't see the little hidden cemetery, but I think that would have scared the hell. It stopped. I think that would have scared the hell out of me had I seen a little hidden cemetery back there. But anyway, but I'm gonna look for it now sometime, but I'm gonna take somebody with me. I'm not going back out there alone, and I'll tell you why. I got down to the bridge, and it's at this point where you're far enough that like you're not just like a 2-minute walk back, and even if you ran, it's like you're kind of like a trek out there, right? And see, it's crazy to me that the roads were just so good over there, and then look over here, they're such crap. But anyway, the sun is super bright. So out of nowhere, I'm just standing there and I'm filming on this bridge, right? And out of nowhere, I look, and literally, I was looking down the path. There was nowhere for him to come from. And then the next thing, there's this guy walking on the path. And it totally freaked me out. He was kind of like this bigger guy, and he just had like a hat like pulled down, like a baseball hat pulled down real low, and like a big blue coat on. And I was like, oh my God, where is this guy coming from? I was like totally panicked. And so I turned, and I was still filming when that happened, because I was like, well, maybe I'll catch him in like the back of but I didn't really want him in the video either, because it was that I didn't, then it would have totally changed the video. Then it would have been a video, about this guy following me in the woods. So anyway, I kind of turned and just like into the video, but I started like walking really fast back, and he was walking fast, and it totally freaked me out. So anyway, yeah, it totally freaked me out, and I got back to my car and I sat inside. What I didn't realize was how cold it was outside. My eyebrows were literally frozen over with icicles by the time that I got back. And I got in the car, and I was walking through the snow in my Crocs, which was not smart. I got back to my car, and I was so cold, and I sat there for a second because I wanted to see him. And he came from the woods, and he walked over, and he went to the pickup truck. There was actually like another car there by then. It must have been somebody else that came and went into the woods. I didn't see them anywhere. But he came and he threw something into the back of his truck, and then he just got in his truck and just sat there like for the longest time. So finally I just left because it kind of scared me. I was like, oh my God, this is scary. I don't think it would have scared me as much, except that on the heels of reading the Hell in the Heartland book, which talks a lot about, like, even if you think you're in the safest area, like, danger can be right around the corner. It talks a lot about that. And also, like, on the heels of the anniversary, yesterday or 2 days ago was the anniversary of the Delphi murders here in Indianapolis, or Indiana, of those two poor little girls. Like, they talk about, like, the sister talked about that in this one. Kendall Ray did this video, and she, like, the sister was interviewed throughout part of it, and I think she said that in her interview. She said, like, you think you live in a safe area, or you're in a safe area, but you really don't know, and it could really be more dangerous than you have any idea. And so once I, like, now I have that in my head, and I can't get that out of my head, So Hell in the Heartland case is interesting. I was saying that it was a lot of police corruption, and there was a part in the book where Jackson Miller is kind of like following this lead towards one person, and she kind of gets threatened that she should stop that line of questioning. Basically, I mean, not like her life threatened, but I can't remember how it's said. But she stops and going down that road and investigating it. And, you know, I thought about it, like, in a small town like that, where you, like, I mean, I don't know what a police force looks like in a town like that, but I wouldn't think that you would have 30 police officers, you know? I would think, like, in a small county, you're probably looking at... Is that, like, melting off of my roof? It's weird. You're probably looking at, you know, 10 to 20, maybe. And then you think... And there's a lot of people that have been murdered around that case. A lot of people. If you're reading it or watching it, Cowboy, Jax Miller told me, she's like, have you gotten to Cowboy yet in the book? And I said, yeah, I just read it, this part. He's in the documentary too. And she said he was just murdered, like, I think she said murdered a year ago. Either he died or he was murdered a year ago. But, I mean, there's just, like, so much murder and corruption around that case. But I was sitting there and I was wondering, I was like, you know, I wonder if it's police corruption or if it's police fear, you know? That you live in that small town, you're raising your family, you're trying to do, you know, the best you can, and yet you have these people that, like, literally are so, I mean, some of the most ruthless killers live in this, like, 30-mile radius, you know? And they all kind of have each other's backs to some degree, but would murder each other in a heartbeat too. Like, so it makes you wonder, like, I don't know, it's just a scary thought, you know? And then you look at all of the cold cases like that around the country and around the world. You know, it was interesting to me because when I was watching the Alyssa Lamb case that was on the Cecil B. Hotel thing, you know, I thought it was interesting if you watch that and then you watch the Unsolved Mysteries where the woman was killed in the hotel room and the Jane Doe and nobody knows who she is. And it's like, that case was given, like, no attention whatsoever. And this case in Los Angeles is given... I have to tell you, I was really surprised that a case in Los Angeles actually got that much attention. Because you think about all of the murders and the stuff that's happening, that how could they give one case like that so much attention? Like, I was really surprised. I was like... I mean, they were on it, like, every single day. Which is a huge part, I mean, and she was older too. She was like 19, I think. When you are watching the Hell in the Heartland documentary, somebody says this in there. Oh, no. She has a partner that she doesn't really talk about in the book, but in the documentary, she has a partner, Jax Miller does, that has a history in forensics. She was I think a homicide detective, and then she went and got her master's degree in criminal profiling and things like that. But she says in there, she's talking about the part where Ashley and Laura go missing, and this guy from the Oklahoma Federal Bureau of Investigations is supposed to file it into the missing persons thing, and it doesn't happen. And nobody, like, really follows up on this. And Laura's mom, has to go out, and she has to be the one to follow up on it. And what's interesting is this woman says, when you have a missing child, there's none of this 24-hour to 48-hour thing like you see on TV. Like, it's like, immediately, it's a priority one situation. Meaning that when these girls went missing, like, they waited 24 hours and were like, oh, they're probably off with the dad or whatever who was burnt alive in the house. And she was like, that would never have happened in real life. Like, they would have, like, well, I mean, in real life it did happen, but, like, in any other town, that would have been the main focus of the case. I don't know. So many unanswered questions, so many sad case situations, you know? Breaks my heart. It's 19 degrees outside. It's kind of surprising to me that all of this snow is, like, staying out here unless it's so hot. Like, the sun is so bright. Well, it's not hot, but, like, in here it is, because... Oh, David Bowie, let's dance. Because the sun is so bright today. It's nice, though. Let's dance. Put on our red shoes and dance the blues. Is that what he says? I can't remember. Oh, man. Well, all right, you guys. I think I'm going to get off here now and go home and get this stuff done. And then I will be back later tonight. And I'll try to do a little bit longer vlog. I love you guys, and I will see you then. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Stay safe. Love you. Wait. Love you. Bye. Love ya.